広がる闇の中交わし合った革命のちぎり誰にも邪魔させるわけにはいかないから
By the intro, you could already tell what I'm getting into. For those of you who are new, here's a quick summary. We first start off in some desolate looking lands with some butt ugly looking creatures. Come to find out, these are literal gods of death. They call themselves Shinigami. Now before I get to talking shit, we're going to see what these gods of death are really about. The main Shinigami we're going to have to worry about is this dude Ryuk. Now Ryuk is sick and tired of playing these foolish games with these other Shinigami from millennia. Basically he got bored. Bringing us back to Earth, we see our protagonist, Light Yagami. This boy right here is a no-nonsense bookworm scholar type, as you can tell by his drip, and just like Ryuk, he's bored as fuck. Cooling in class one day, Light looks out the window and sees a black book falls from what looks like the top of his school, so of course he goes to collect as soon as class is finished. Now if I picked up this book and saw it, I think someone's fucking with me, but let's carry on. He opens the book and sees a list of rules. The first thing our boy sees is, the humans whose name is written in this note shall die. Now I don't know about y'all, but the first thing I'm doing with that book if I seen that shit is chucking it into the nearest trash bin, but I digress. Now Light ponders on this, of course, and brings the book back home and starts reading the rest of the rules. He reads that the note will not take effect unless the writer has the person's name in their mind while writing the name. Makes sense. Imagine writing John Smith or some generic ass name and all the John Smiths just dropped in. That'd be pretty wild. Sorry if your name's John Smith, by the way, my bad. He then reads, if the cause of death is written within 40 seconds of writing the person's name, it will happen. If the cause of death isn't specified, they'll die of a heart attack. That's some dark ass shit right there. Effective, but that's some dark shit. And if you write the cause of death, the details must be written within the first 5 minutes or so. Cool, now we got the rules sorted, let's get cooking. Light, still not thinking the book is real, ponders if he'll be a murderer if someone dies from him just jotting a name down. His best bet is to listen to the news and see if he can hear any criminals' names listed for him to try out the book, and of course he do. Light's first body, Koro Ataharuda. Light waits out, thinks it's nonsense, but of course the book does work and drops Koro. Of course, Light thinks it's a coincidence being the logical type, but this is different. He decides to try again and see if it's really a coincidence. Risky business, but we gotta confirm it. Late night, Light peeps these two weirdos trying to take advantage of a young lady. One of the idiots yell out their name, so of course Light has all he needs to drop folk. He gets the name down. 40 seconds later, boom, that weirdo gets ran the fuck over. Just like that, Light realizes that he has some serious power in his hands. Now that Light has gotten a feel for the book, it's time for Ryuk to turn spectator. Of course, he was the one that dropped the book out of pure boredom after finessing a second one from some old man in the Shinigami realm. Light, now with a diabolical look in his eyes, realizes that he holds the power of gods in his hands. Little did he know, that book came with a gremlin looking dude in all black. Light finally meets Ryuk and the boy is shook to his core. Wondering if he might have angered the gods, Light falls out of his chair shitting bricks. Ryuk tells Light that he's a god of death, the real deal, but surprisingly Light says that he's been waiting. Just seeing Ryuk solidifies all of Light's motivations, and we're about to see some serious god complex shine through. Ryuk explains that there's been many books to drop onto the human realm, but Light's the only savage to have written so many names. It's only been 5 days and Light's already a mass murderer. Light figures some sort of retribution will be on the way, so he asks Ryuk if he's here for his soul. Ryuk, confused, explains to Light that he isn't gonna do a damn thing. Since Ryuk dropped the book no longer belongs to him. Light is now proud owner of a death note. Ryuk explains that if Light doesn't want the book, he can give it to someone else, but he's not gonna remember anything. Now given express consent from a literal god, it's time for Light to start packing folk out. But before that, Ryuk tells him that since he used the book, his soul is pretty much damned. Light asks why he dropped the book and gave so many instructions. Ryuk simply tells him that he did it because he was bored and nothing else. Light tells him that he's been bored too, so let's get cooking. Light, figuring that he's here for a fun time, not a long time, decides to start his villain arc. Light, now feeling vindicated, starts going on a killing spree, dropping prisoners, criminals, and all manners of lowlifes.